I told y'all that we are dealing with the evil that we never ever seen before. Trump signed a law on land to get rid of these states mutilating kids and turning into genders they wasn't meant to be. Now you have Gavin Newsom, the California governor, a governor that's supposed to be focusing on crimes, focusing on other things that's going on. Rent, water, heat. His focus is signing a law to allow more male athletes into female sports. All the tax revenue California gets, and this is the leaders' focus. This is what they're signing laws for. You see, when Trump talks about the agenda and they talk about all, see, y'all think they're hating, but they're not hating. Trump knows that these laws, they destroy families, they destroy communities. And that's why we're going to talk about today on the Deeply Disgusted Show. Let's go.
Well, California Governor Gavin Newsom signing a new state assembly bill into law that critics say will increase the number of trans athletes competing in women's sports. AB 749, now state law, sets up a commission to look into the, quote, need and potential for a centralized entity to improve access to and involvement in sports for all youth, regardless of race, sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity. California Senate Minority Leader Brian Jones, a Republican, calling this a, quote, disguise to actually further cement allowing biological males to compete against young women and girls in youth sports. The author and supporters of AB 749 know that if they were up front and put forth a straightforward bill.
He changed the wording of the law. He changed the wording of the law. He put in the law, he said, no, this law don't have anything to do with trans people. This law is for everybody to come together, kumbaya, and basically whatever sport that you want to join, even if you see some girls over there playing soccer in peace with no males around minding their business, you can go over there and sign up and go play soccer with them. And even though you may be strong and you may kick harder than them and you may have put a few of them in the ICU because you kicked so hard you broke their femur bone and their ankles, and it's okay. We want you to continue to enjoy playing with the females as a big, giant, grown-ass man.
Allowing biological males to compete against young women and girls, it would be easily defeated. In his own words, the governor has said men competing in women's sports is wild.
Yo, I always say Fox News got the baddest chicks. Fox News have the baddest chicks in the game. You know when you go to like a bar or you go to a club or, you meet somebody in person or whatever the situation is, you be like, God damn, they got the baddest chicks in the game. Well, in media, it been proven time and time again. Fox News knows how to pick them.
Wildly unfair.
Would you do something like that? Would you say no men in female sports?
Well, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. It is an issue of fairness.
So
it's deeply unfair.
Would you speak out against this young?
Deeply.
He's being paid by people in the background, people who support him, these billionaires, millionaires. He's getting paid by them. Y'all don't get it? Y'all don't see his hair, how it's always well done. He's always well groomed. I would like to know how many good, beautiful assets this man have. How many mansions? How good is this man living? How many vacations he go on? Because he is somebody who is operating not on what taxpayers want. He's not operating in a sense where, oh, I want other people, families to prosper like mine. He's operating right now as a governor, and he's trying to get more rich, and he's getting paid by people who have
The unfair. Meanwhile, one California Democrat running for governor tells Piers Morgan she fully supports having gender-neutral categories at the 2028 Summer Olympics.
I think transgender female athletes are women athletes, and they should be able to compete.
Really? So if you were governor of California, you would support biological males who identify as women competing in women's sport in the Olympics?
They are now identified as transgender female.
Why do you think
Why do we have to listen to these crazy people? Why do we look at this woman? She looks like a transgender herself. Look at her. She looked like a old Mexican man that fixed cars and decided to wear pearls, a wig, put on lipstick, and get some grandma glasses.
we separate the sexes in the Olympics?
Well, because they do come with different attributes in terms of physicality.
I mean, whatever. John, you and I are California.
Yeah, whatever. Y'all heard her? That's why I love Fox News. You heard her? She said, yeah, whatever. We know what you're trying to do. We know what you're trying to do. Those poor little girls and boys out there. Close your ears, please.
Californians, talk to me about what's going on. I thought Gavin Newsom was seeming to come around to the side of common sense and see how deeply unfair it is. And now this law is passed.
Yeah, common sense, I'm afraid, has nothing to do with California. You don't live there anymore? How do I follow your path? I got to get out of this place. I mean, this is just another example of how wacky and over-the-top extreme left wing has taken over California government. I actually don't think a majority of Californians agree with this. They couldn't. So
Of course not. Of course not. There is so many Californians at home watching the news and they're like, oh my God, I have to get me and my kids out of this whole state. We have to escape into some red state, I don't know, red town, whatever town that is more conservative and normal, we have to go there. You have to escape California.
what's happening here, it seems to me, is that, and you just saw the clip there, Betty Yee, she's a representative of the Democratic Party establishment in California. Gavin Newsom wants to be the presidential candidate in the next election. They want to get through the progressive left-wing primaries that demand this kind of craziness. This is at a time when the Supreme Court right now is going to hear a case that I think will likely uphold states that say we have to keep the sexes apart for sports, that are going to prohibit biological men from competing against women and vice versa. So even while the Supreme Court and many states in the country are going to say that's constitutional legal, you have California trying to deny reality. I don't know what's next. I could see maybe California will tie weights now to feet of people when they have races so that people can't be too good and better than each other. That's the kind of thinking that goes on our left coast.
Yeah, talk about drag on everything. Roseanne, I want to show, this is a father driving home the point about what it means to have biological boys in girls' locker room there October 8th at a school board meeting. Let's watch.
And I'm about to show you guys how uncomfortable it is for these young girls.
Point of order. We've asked that we use.
Oh, so wait.
Oh, he has a Turning Point hoodie. Look. He has a Turning Point hoodie, so you already know. And he has a Trump hat on. Oh, you know he about to cuss them out.
They're covered. You feel uncomfortable? Because that's what these young girls feel like when a boy walks into the locker room and starts unchanging in front of them. Yeah, you feel uncomfortable, right? Feel uncomfortable, huh? That's what these young girls feel like every time a young boy changes in front of them.
And that's right. And finally,
Great example. Great example. I'm telling you, in today's society, men, we have to stand up. You got to stop being a little B word and stand up. Stop listening to your wife if she's talking a bunch of silly stuff. You tell her, shut up. Shut up. We're not gonna be on that stupid stuff. What you think you are? You think you me? No, I'm the man of the household. This is how it's supposed to be. There ain't no equal. There ain't no 50-50. It's me or nothing. It's either me or nothing. We could talk about what we need to do as together as a team. But other than that, when it comes to the final decision, it's me. And that's what that man right there did. He's standing up for what he believes. He's standing up for what is wrong. And it is wrong to have men in a female locker room.
Someone has the chutzpah to say it.
I know. Well, it's a very visual point when you see it in person. I mean, female athletes have been struggling for year after year to be represented, to get equal play. Now, finally, they're seeing some kind of headway. For example, if you look at the WNBA, it's on fire. The women's sport's on fire. They're finally getting the attention. They're getting a lot of people who respect them. They want equal pay. And now you're dealing with this. Where does it end? How is that fair to the women who are finally, after fighting all these years?
Wow, she's making a great point. I'm sorry to say, she's making a great. Oh man, female sports been on the side of they suck. They suck. A lot of female sports, they suck. They don't make no money. And now they're finally on the headlines. Now you got injuries. Now the left want to distract you with, no, we know the females they're doing good. They want equal pay. But we also have some females that have hairy legs with a beard. And they want to get in on the action too. Can it just be fair? Can they come along the ride that females have fought for all these years? Decades and decades and decades, females have fought to be recognized in their sport. And now you have the left politicians destroying their dreams because they want to create a whole new civil rights movement.
To be respected, to finally now say, okay, we're going to allow transgender to play on our team. Because eventually, you don't hear it the other way around, by the way. You don't hear about the transgender women on the men's team. It's not a problem. It's the other way around. And, you keep encouraging this, they will take.
Oh, she made another point. She's right, though. Why is it never the woman that want to join the man's team because they know they're going to lose? It's always the he, she, man that want to join the real woman team. It's because they know they're going to get gold medals. Gold on top of gold.
Take over the sport. Or any sport.
Yeah.
Or any team.
Right. And to your point, it's not fair. I mean, even the governor acknowledged it. And Cheryl, so we saw, that father, that very poignant, visceral moment. We saw.
This is a wife right here, y'all. We don't know her personality yet, but she definitely got the looks to represent a good man. That's why she got that big old ring on that left finger.
Recently, a mother as well, undressing outside of Sacramento, I believe, in front of the school board to their shock and horror and chagrin. And we're calling the cops and everything. She's like, this is the point I'm making. And I remind everyone that in the criminal code, if you show your genitals to a minor female, you are convicted of a felony. And somehow we're supposed to approve it and then bake it into state law? What is wrong with California?
Well, what is wrong with Gavin Newsom? Because if he does indeed kind of quietly reverse course after what he said, we saw him talking to Charlie Kirk in that clip, then he's wrong on with the electorate of California.
How in a video can you talk about, nah, I'm never gonna do that? I disagree. I don't want men to play in female sport. He just said it in an interview. And now all of a sudden there's a law that's passed where he's allowing men to play in female sports. That tells you that he's not the boss. That tells you that he's not the boss. There was a billionaire that is the boss of California, and a lot of people know who that is. The same way that video that I did on YouTube where I showed y'all that the couple, the billionaire couple that owns the water in Chicago, I mean, not Chicago, in California, there's a billionaire couple that owns majority of the water in California, and that's why they couldn't use the water to help the people during the fire.
California, a Public Policy Institute of California, April 2025, 65% of likely voters, nearly half of them Democrats, they support transgender athletes required to play on sports teams that match their sex assigned at birth. Point one. Point two, that woman in the clip was talking about the Olympics. The Olympics has already decided that you have to be a part of a team with sex at birth. I'm not saying that very well. But anyway, so that's already been decided by the Olympic Committee because the Olympics is happening in the United States of America. And the Olympics is going to follow the laws of the United States of America.
You know who else is jumping in, too? I want to play this. So Leah Thomas, you all remember her, the 2022 NCAA women's champion, identifying as a woman. But last night she...
Whoa, what is that? What the hell is that? He-Man? Is that He-Man? That is... You see what we're up against? We're up against the evil. Look at this. This person got to be like 6'5". That's a woman that changed from a man? Now, this is what we have to look in the eye and say, yes, you're a woman. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to lie to myself.
Received the Voice of the Inspiration Award at Rainbow Labs Violet Visionary Award ceremony. But the point I want to drive home to you all is
sick. Sick, sick, sick. And look in the background. I think that is he, her as a man. Look at the picture. That's he, her as a man. That's when, I'm not even going to say used to be a man. That is a man.
Is that the event was sponsored by the LA Dodgers and the LA Football Club. So it seems to now, ironically, be supported by professional franchises, Harris. That certainly, I think, if I strode out onto the field, I would probably be carted off as not being eligible. But for them, somehow, go ahead and ruin girl sports.
Yeah, I think Leah Thomas is a really good example, though, because all of this kind of, I mean, Leah Thomas wasn't the beginning of it all, but it's the reason why we know so much about what we know, right? And how Leah Thomas was listed below 400 when competing with other men, but then came out on top when competing with women. Like
what I say. Did y'all hear what she just said? Leah Thomas, when she was competing against other men as a man, Leah Thomas sucked ass. And now that she went back to the drawing board and said, you know what, I'm going to put a wig on. I'm going to get a dress. I'm going to put some makeup. I'm going to put some lipstick on. I'm going to shave my goddamn legs. And I'm going to go put on this volleyball female outfit. And I'm going to show them I'm the best of the best when it comes to this sport. I know I couldn't beat none of the men, but with the females, I'm going to rip them into shreds. And I'm going to make sure I go down in history as the best athlete on the planet. Even though I am genetically stronger than all of these girls. But I'm going to try to fool everybody else to convince them that I am the best. Like and subscribe. Put something in those comments and see you on the next one.